Okay, so hi, here we are again. I'm Abby, and this is Clay. And Clay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you end up at this station?
Well, I am Clay, like she said. I am from Alabama, and I have been in Florida for 12 years now. I don't know which way to go. This is rough. Let's see.
Just put it in front of you.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Oh, over here is better. Rerun. I've been in Florida for about 12 years now. I started doing hair out of high school, actually. I was able to go my senior year and get my cosmetology license, and it was through the city school. So I really didn't have to 8-9 years now. And I now specialize in blondes, lived-in color, balayage, a lot of balayage. Earlier in my career, I liked to do a lot of the fun colors, vivids, but I like to do it all. I like to stay open, yeah.
But now I would say you're more very pretty versus vivids.
Yeah, I think a lot of my clients like the idea of something that is achievable for them and over time is not going to cause a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And I think the vivids, I mean, they're fun, they're beautiful, but I found that with the changes that were happening, like green to purple and blue and pinks, and it just their hair ended up taking a beating.
Yeah.
And maintenance, I mean, those colors fell out so quick. So I do a lot of the pretty colors, like
Clay does
monkeys.
very pretty colors, very natural,
Yeah,
pretty blondes.
natural.
We would definitely call him a blonde guy.
I'd like to do the blondes.
Yeah.
I think blonde are the better.
Blonde are the better.
Yeah.
It must be the Alabama in you.
I think so. You know, we love those white blondes, everything like that. I mean, I can't speak for myself. I just went back dark, so.
Yes, Clay just looked like Ken, and he looked great, and I just told him his personality is a blonde. He looks better as a blonde, in my opinion, but still very handsome, dark.
Thank you. I was going for fall vibes, but Ken will make his reprise soon. So.
Okay, good. We love a little Ken and Barbie action
For
here.
sure.
So why did you like the station, and why did you want to come over to the salon?
Well, I'm a believer in good vibes and good energy, and I feel that in this industry, you really have to find the area that fits with you and the people that work there as well. And as soon as I saw your salon online when I moved from Orlando to St. Pete, I just knew that the vibes were so good and correct. You had fun with it, but it also seemed like luxury. And I think that's kind of what attracted me to the station, because there's a sense of luxury here, but it doesn't make me feel like I have to be somebody I'm not.
Hoity-toity.
Not hoity-toity.
We're not
Perfect.
hoity-toity here.
Mm-mm.
We're very laid back.
It's all hunky-dory here.
And so Clay is newer to St. Pete. What is your favorite restaurant in St. Pete right now?
Oh, right now, favorite restaurant in St. Pete. You know, I send my friends and myself all the time to VIP Mexican in Treasure Island.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It
I've heard a
is
lot
so
about that
good.
place.
It is delicious.
So you're a big Mexican food guy.
I'm a food person in general, but if you can throw some good Mexican in front of me,
All
I'm
right.
gonna chow down.
So if you weren't doing hair, where are you hanging out?
If I'm not doing hair, I've just recently acquired a kayak. So
Ooh.
I'm getting out on the water and enjoying that, kind of seeing some wildlife and nature.
Have you gone to Weedon Island kayak?
I have not gone, but I live 5 minutes from there.
What?
So
that's where you gotta go kayak.
Yeah, I'm
it's great back
excited.
there.
Mhm.
I love Weedon Island. It's where I like to run back there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Although I was just there recently and I got lost. It's kind of circles, the bridge where you run, and I brought my kids. I hadn't been in a while. I used to run the track all the time, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take them on a walk. Of course, this is like July, just because I'm trying to find something to do with my kids, because they're not in school, and I'm like, we're getting bored here.
Yeah.
And I legit got lost. I went down a path. I was stuck for about 20. My cell phone lost service.
Or you just start screaming, somebody's out there.
I was like, no, that was the weird thing. Normally there's always someone there, but it was like in the middle of a Tuesday and no one was there. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
That's hard. That's like so scary because you just don't know what kind of people creep up in those areas.
I know. I actually have never been terrified like I
Yeah.
was. And then I have a 2 and a 4-year-old, and my 2-year-old, I don't know if he could feel me scared, but then
Makes
he wanted
sense.
me to like hold him. And he's like 100 pounds. He's not really 100 pounds, but he's 50 pounds, and that's like enough.
In that heat, it's
and
too much. It's
that
too much.
heat, and like I'm trying not to panic. All of a sudden, I see a runner go by, and I was like,
Follow
"Which
you.
way's out? Get me out of
I've been
here!"
stuck here for days.
And he's like, "Well, you got to go that way, but it's about a 20-minute walk."
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
20
Is that how
minutes.
far you went?
That's how far I went because I kept
Oh my
going
gosh.
the wrong way, lost, thinking I was going the right way. So
Oh.
like I was legit lost.
Well, I'm glad that you got found safe, especially in that heat, because if you were gone too long, we would have been, I don't know, seeing you on the news.
Seeing me on the news.
Gators.
Yeah, gator would have eaten me. I don't even know if there's gators over in Weedon though.
Seen any, but I've seen a lot of, I think they're like tortoises, like soft shell of some sort. They're weird
Yeah.
looking, like hognose looking.
I don't think there's gators though because the Weedon Island is attached to the bay.
It's like mangrove islands, not
Yeah.
like the wind. Anyways,
So I
I
don't
love
know.
that.
So what question do you have for me?
Ooh, my turn. I would love to ask you,
Okay.
do you ever have times, as successful as you are with your 2 salons and your vibe and everything going on, do you ever have times where you get overwhelmed? And if you do, how do you kind of combat that? And how do you level yourself back out?
Oh, okay. So I have different level outs for different levels of stress. I would definitely say that I handle stress very well. I can have fires burning on all ends and I can remain calm.
Queen stuff.
Inner balance.
Yes.
Inner balance. But no, I definitely get overwhelmed a lot because I have a lot on my plate. A lot more than I think people even realize. And most of the time when I'm overwhelmed, I know this is kind of the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you're overwhelmed, but when I get overwhelmed, I start not finishing tasks. So I know it's my turn to like take a break, and I actually like take a day and I'll like plan a date day with my husband or like just kind of really remove myself from business and like rethink, like don't think about it, like we won't even talk about it. My husband and I won't even talk about it.
Off the plate.
It's off the plate, just kind of like resetting my brain.
Yeah.
And then the next morning I'll sit down and like write everything out of like what I still need to do, like why I'm feeling this way. I'm a big like writer. And but I used to do that all while I was running. And lately I've not been running.
It's hot, y'all. I don't blame you for not running. It's hot out here.
So yeah, most of the time that's what I do. I realize if I'm super overwhelmed, I need to take a day off.
That's great. I like that. I think that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
To anybody.
To anybody.
Yeah.
And because I think when people feel so overwhelmed, they end up working more, and then
Yes.
you're just like not efficiently getting things done.
It's like you're not giving yourself that time to step back and assess what it is that you need to really
and
do.
you're also making decisions that like maybe aren't the best decisions because
Yeah.
it's more of like a panic decision or
kind of rash.
and then you're like, why did I do that? Or like that's when people cut their hair off, you know.
And that's what we're here for. But I don't know about you. Speaking of cutting hair off, I will never just let somebody come in and be crazy like that. Like, I'm going to be like, what happened?
I ask
Do you
the
need to
same
talk
question.
first?
Yeah.
Did this happen last night, or has this been on your head for a few weeks? Like,
Right?
big difference. You want bangs across.
Same
No.
with like blondes who want to go red overnight. I'm like,
We've worked so hard. Yeah.
we took so long to
We've
get
come
here.
so far.
Yeah, it is surprising that there are hairdressers. I guess there are hairdressers out there who they're just trying to make money.
Of course.
And I feel like more of our stylists, we are people who will definitely tell you no. We are just like, let's think about that. If we're
Yeah.
still thinking about it next time you're here, we'll do that. And you want that in a hairdresser, trust me. You do not want someone who's just going to be like, all right.
Let's just go for it.
Unless they know you really, really well and they know
Yeah.
it would look awesome.
And I think a lot of that comes from like experience. Like when your stylist says no, it's not necessarily they don't think it would be good for you. I think it's just we've seen how it goes. And
It's
the
not
girl
good.
that wants the crazy thing, we do it, and then 2 weeks, she's in your inbox.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yes. Or is it going to fade or blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
always the things. Which also never be afraid to reach out to your hairdresser
Yeah.
about things like that, but let's be sure about what
Big decisions.
Big decisions that we actually want to do those. We're not going through
Definitely.
breakups or things like that. So,
Yes.
but change is always good. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of how we change.
Yeah, I think sometimes that people don't realize that sometimes less is way more.
Less is way
Especially in like
more.
modern hair coloring, where
Except
you're
for in
seeing,
my
like,
buildings, more is more.
Of course. Hey, we're not talking style. I think we both think are on the same level of like maximalism. I don't
Yeah.
like minimalism. I don't know her. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that in style sometimes. Like,
If it's clean
if
and
it's
pretty,
clean and pretty,
love
it is
that.
a look.
It's just that modern, I think, and I'm not knocking modern, but whenever it's all
I do love
chrome and
modern.
sterile, it
It's-
makes me feel like, oh, it's cold and sterile.
Sterile,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Or like you can't touch anything or it'll break. Type
Oh my
thing.
gosh, plastic on the sofa. Yeah, no, I like the vintage.
I was going to say
It's-
there was probably plastic on the sofa behind us
somebody-
when I bought it.
Yeah, yeah somebody had cats.
That thing is in like pristine condition, and it's definitely, what would you say, like the 50s?
Oh, that Miss thing.
Miss
she
Yellow
looks
over there.
Very
Blondie.
Yeah,
Should we call
probably.
her Blondie?
Actually, Salon Blondie.
I feel like Salon Blondie fits for
She's
that couch.
gorge. She's really gorge.
All right, guys, so we're going to wrap up this podcast. Now you know Clay. Clay specializes in blonde, so all you